It's the Boss Dual Cube Bass LX. It's very nice, as you can see. It's got these controls all over it, and it's very light, and when I heard this it blew me away, so I had to get one. So let me just show you what it does. Boss Dual Cube Bass LX. Let's have a look at the control panel. Over here we have the compressor drive, which is either a compressor or a drive depending on the flick of this switch. The compressor evens out the loud notes and the quiet notes, and the more you turn it up, the less difference in volume there is between the two. Over here you've got the amp type: rock, modern, vintage, flat and super flat. You've got the gain, which when you turn it up you can get the maximum out of your pickups as a clean bass, or you can start adding a bit of distortion or a lot of distortion. Volume control. Over here is the master volume. Up the top left we got the 3-band graphic EQ, bass, middle, treble. Just to the right of that you've got the effects, chorus, flanger and wah. The right of that you've got the delay reverb. And over here you have a small built-in drum machine: jazz, rock, blues, rhythm and blues, funk, metal, Latin and country, and each one of those has 3 different patterns. And you can adjust the speed by tapping out on this button how fast you want it to go. That's stop. Okay, and there's the variation. So if you put it on rock, the variation can change. Absolutely marvellous. Thank you, Boss, for putting that in. It's brilliant. So there you are. So I think it's nice to know what it sounds like, shall we? It's the difference between hard and soft playing without the compressor. Let's use the compressor. I'll put it up at 12 o'clock. And then I'll put it at maximum. So that's the compressor. You've heard the compressor, which also plays as a drive when you press this button. It's an overdrive distortion. That's what it does. So let's turn that on. Now it's on drive mode. So listen to the, I'm going to chug on the A string, and you listen to the difference as I adjust it. So as you can hear, it's got that tiny, such a subtle little bit of growl on there as you gradually turn it up, as compared to other devices that have an overdrive. They give you too much straight away. This one has just a subtle little amount as you turn it up, which can give your pickups just a nice bit of growl. If you like clean but just nice bit of growl to it, you can do it on this amp, and it's absolutely brilliant. So as I turn it up, you get more distortion. there you have it with the drive section. So I'm going to turn that down and turn that off. And then we're going to move on to the amp type. So I'm going to start with rock, and I'm going to chuck on the A string so you can hear what it sounds like. And so on and so forth. So now I'm going to play a bass line in each of those so you can hear what it sounds like properly. Now, if you bring in the drive, a bit of distortion on each one of these, I'm going to show you the difference, what it sounds like. So you've heard it in rock. If I put it on modern, and I put the drive up at 12 o'clock, here's the difference. Now I'm going to play the vintage. Flat. Super flat. Go back to modern. And back to rock. Turn it off. So yep, you can make your own mind up of what sound you prefer. Now onto the gain control, which is a distortion. Yes, another distortion. Now let's check this out. If I chuck on the A, you listen to the difference as I turn it up. Okay, with that distortion, if I have it full on, you can use it with the original distortion that I just spoke to you about, the drive. So if I turn that on, listen in the amp type rock. Okay, so let's have the drive on full, the gain on full, and switch it to modern. And I'm going to back off the master control. And vintage. Flat. And super flat. And that's, I suppose, if you want to play guitar solos on your bass. Let's back all that off and go back to modern, and I'll show you. This is the sound that I prefer. This is what I use. Over to the 3-band EQ, it's the bass, middle, treble, and this is what it sounds like flat, all controls at 12 o'clock. and let's increase, well actually I'll decrease the bass so you can know the difference. But if you're a bass player, you'll want it all the way up, so let's do that. And the middle, let's turn that all the way up. And let's back it off all the way so you know the difference. And that's the sound I like actually. So let's back off the treble. And put the treble all the way up. And so you have it. That's the 3-band EQ. And well, this is my preferred setting, and actually let's have a listen to this. Moving to the effects, got chorus, flanger and wah. I'm going to turn the chorus on. It's got different levels, so I'll just play something and gradually turn it. I'm going to go on to the flanger. Now I'm going to go on to the wah. Okay, so it's actually a T-wah, touch wah, so it's touch sensitive. I was using my fingers, but now I'll show you the difference, what it sounds like when I'm using a plectrum. Over to the delay reverb, I'm going to play so you can hear what that sounds like. I'll chug on the A string with the plectrum. some reverb. This brings us on to the rhythm guide, the drum machine, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to start with the metronome, but you've got the start stop, you've got variation. Each pattern has 3 variations, and you can speed up and slow down by tapping on the tap tempo button how fast or how slow you want it to go. So let's start with the metronome so you know what that sounds like. So I'm going to move it up 1 notch to jazz. Moving up to rock. Moving up to blues. Moving up to rhythm and blues. Moving over to funk. Going to metal. I'd like to emphasize that you can slow that down and speed it up some more. Let me demonstrate by tapping how fast I want it on the tap tempo button. Okay, now I'll show you the variation of the metal sound. Of course, you can speed it up and slow it down as much as you want on any of these settings. So this is what the Latin sounds like. And country. Of course, on all of these you can speed up and slow them down like I said. Okay, so that's the drum machine, and you can adjust the volume of how loud you want the drums to be. So if you want to play bass along with that, any of these, you can get the volumes right. So this brings me to the looper, which can only be operated by foot switch, which goes in the back of the amp. And the foot switch you have to use with it is the Boss FS5U, FS6 and the FS7. It's an oversight, the way I feel, is that there's no button on top here to use the looper. You have to use the foot switch. Over to the memory. Now, each amp type has 3 memory locations. It will save the memories of the bass, middle, treble setup, effects setup, compressor, drive, amp type, gain and volume, but it won't save the master volume where you have it. Here's a demonstration. I've saved green, that's the first memory. You got the red and you got the orange. As you can see, I've saved a memory of using the drive. So let's go to the first one. Second one. And the third one. Now let's find a sound and keep it. So find a sound. Let's put some chorus, some delay. And let's save it. So you select which one you want to save it to. I select green and I hold that down. It flashes, it's saving it, and then it goes solid again when it's saved. When you've saved a setting to an amp type and you change to a different amp type, those settings are only saved to that particular amp type. So I saved them to modern. Now I'm playing flat. Then I go back to modern. Those settings are saved to that. Onto the Bluetooth device, which I have, you have to buy it separately, fixes onto the back. Not only does the foot switch operate the looper, it also can operate the drum machine. But if you've got the Bluetooth set up with your app, because you can get an app for this amp, through the app you can control everything on here, and even the looper. Unlike previous microcubes, this one will save your memories even when you turn the amp off. If you want to save your memories, you can do multiple saves on the app. You can get for your Apple device or your Android device, wherever you get your apps from, and it works via the Bluetooth device, which I get separately. I got mine from Amazon and it's a free app. Now I'm going to talk about the back panel, and I'm going to read it from the manual. The DC jack in. Connect the included AC adapter to the jack. Use only the AC adapter that came with the unit. USB port. Connect a commercially available USB 2 cable to playback and record the sound from this unit on your computer. You can also use dedicated software to editing the settings of the internal effects. Bluetooth adapter. Connect the Bluetooth audio MIDI dual adapter model BT Dual to wirelessly play back music from your mobile device, such as a smartphone or tablet, hereafter mobile device, or to edit the effects using the app on your mobile device. The foot switch jack. You can start-stop the rhythm guide, that's the drum machine, and control the looper using the foot by connecting a foot switch at Boss FS6, FS7 or F5 5U, sold separately. Now the loopback switch. When the loopback switch is on, the USB audio input sound can be sent back to your computer, iPad, iPhone or Android device. The loopback switch. By turning the loopback switch on, you can send the input sound from the iCube Link aux-in jack back to your mobile device. So here we are on the app. I'm going to show you what it does. They've got compressor drive. If you tap on this, you can, as you can see, it's changing, and that's me tapping on it and turning the control myself. On the amp type, you just touch the control and go up and down the screen by moving a finger. As you can see, I'm selecting what amp I want to use. And you can increase the gain or decrease the gain by touching the screen and moving up and down. Same with the volume. The EQ, bass is on 99%. I can put it to 100, but touching on it and then touching the screen up and down controls what you want the EQ to do. Effects, same things, just touch the screen, the button there, move your finger up and down the screen to select what you want to use on both sides of this screen here. Edit. Okay, so we're on the chorus, and the rate you can adjust by touching the rate and typing in exactly the amount. In effect, what you're doing here is reprogramming the factory settings, and they will stay the way you program them. Okay, so it's on 18. It's the same with the depth. You can adjust it up and down with touching the screen. Pre-delay, you can touch the screen and adjust it from that. Okay, the triangle wave can be changed to sine wave, which changes the core sound of the chorus. Effects level, up and down, touch the screen and move your finger up and down the screen. Same with direct mix. And you can go directly to the amount that you want and then OK it. Flanger, it's the same principle. On page 2, you've got the low cut and high cut. Same principle, touch the control and you can adjust where you want the high cut and low cut to be. And the in-depth of the programming is very impressive. Same with the flanger. So you can have the rate, you touch the screen, you can type in exactly what you want. So you can change the rate, the depth, type in exactly what you want, or if you just move up and down the screen with your finger. Same with the resonance, manual, up and down the screen, or effect level. You can type in exactly what you want, or just go up and down the screen like this, touching the screen. Page 2, low cut and direct mix. You can adjust what you want on the low cut and the direct mix. You can type in exactly what you want, or control it with your finger on the screen up and down. T-wah, touch wah, LPF mode. Of course, again, LPF, BPF. So you've got the low pass filter and the band pass filter. The low pass will let the lower frequencies through and the band pass will let mid-range frequencies through. Polarity, up and down. Sensitivity, you can type in exactly what you want, or of course you can adjust it by going up and down on the screen. Frequency, up and down on the screen, or type in exactly what you're looking for. And the same with the peak, up and down on the screen if you want, or type it straight in. Page 2, effects level, again type in exactly what you want, or touch the screen and adjust it yourself with your finger. Direct mix, same. Okay, now on to the delay. Let's see how high the milliseconds goes. 2000 milliseconds. So down to 1 millisecond. Just by touching the screen and moving your finger up and down the screen. Feedback. You can type straight in or move your finger up and down the screen. Same with high cut, up and down the screen, or type it. Just tap on exactly what you want. Effects level. Touch the screen, move your finger up and down the screen. Page 2, modulation rate. Modulation depth, modulation sound wave. And the tap is the tap tempo. If you watch delay time, it changes the milliseconds. Okay, so analog, and you can change it to digital, tape, echo, reverse, modulate, and SDE 3000. Now, when you go to page 2, it's not available unless you go to modulate or SD 3000. Now, page 3 only works when you're in the Roland, that's the Roland SDE 3000 digital delay. Now you turn the filter on and off by touching it and moving your finger up and down on the screen. Same with the range. Up and down the screen you can have 8 kilohertz or 17 kilohertz. Normal delay phase, inverse or normal, and feedback phase is inverse or normal. Touch the screen and move your finger up and down. And of course, I've said before, that only works on the digital delay 3000, SDE 3000. Okay, so we move on to reverb. Reverb time, you can type in exactly what you want or move your finger up and down on the screen. And it's the same with pre-delay, effects level, direct mix, low cut, high cut. Let's go page 2. Density, you can type in exactly what you want or move your finger up and down on the screen. And color is only available on spring. As you can see up here, type, you can tap on type stereo 1, you can choose stereo 2, or you can have it on 2x2 chorus. On 2x2 chorus you have these controls that you can change as you go. Let's put it on back onto stereo 1, and there you are for the effects. Switching to Librarian, on the bottom of the screen, tap on it and this is the screen that comes up. Now you've got down at the top right of the screen, you've got the download and upload. That's so you've programmed the memory and you can download it onto the app and then upload it again at a later date. So here we are. I'm going to demonstrate the top right hand corner where it says download and upload by the arrows, and I did one yesterday as a test, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So if I want to, I've got a sound in the memory of the dual cube, I want to download from the dual cube, or I can download the file from computer or the cloud, or you can, if a friend has sent you some sounds that you want to upload to your computer, that's how you can do that. But so I tap on dual cube, it's highlighted, and then I go next. As you can see, boss is flashing because it's working. All backup, select patch from to, and select patch. So let's all back up. Next, let's call it test 2. Import. So now you can see it's importing from the dual cube onto the app. Interesting video this, watching a little line go across the screen. And it's completed. Press OK, and you can see test 2 is saved onto your app. So to export file from the app back to the amplifier, the top right hand corner has got an arrow pointing up. Press on that and then it's going to export to, you want it to go to the dual cube. Make sure it's highlighted by tapping on it and go to next. And you want all patch. Select the patch you want to send back to the amp. So it's test 2 for me, and next. Now it should now overwrite to, just pick one and it'll upload all of them, and then you export and it will send to the amp. And I would like to say it would be nice to have a readout on there, so what percentage it's reaching as it goes across the screen, but I suppose it's not necessary. It's personal. Completed. Click OK, and now your amp should have all those settings back. And if you go to the bottom of the screen again and you have tuner, you can click on that. If you've got your bass plugged into the amp, it will register and you can tune your bass on this part of the app. Now on the bottom of the right hand side of the screen, you've got the system. Tap on that and it comes up with this list. Bluetooth setting, Bluetooth MIDI device. You can see at the top of the screen it's got a star there that shows that it's actually connected. Back to the list, and we've got amp check, the battery check. This is 3 bars because I'm plugged into the mains. If it was just running on batteries, it could show 1 bar, no bars, 2 bars, whatever. Global EQ. As you can see, this controls the overall sound of the amp and not the tone controls. So to adjust these, it's the same as before. Touch the control and move up and down and pick what you want on the screen on each of these. Type in what you want. You've seen what I've done before, touching each control, same with page 2, and so on and so forth. Now, foot switch controller sign, you can have it, the foot switch control the rhythm guide, the looper, the effects, delay, reverb on and off, memory, and you can turn it off, all off. That's what you can assign the foot switch to do. So as you can see, the app gives you so much more than the amp itself. Wireless pedal setting. Now that's an expression pedal. It has two switches and what the pedal, you can use it as a volume and or a wah or both. It's what you assign from the amp for it to do. So you can have it as a wah, volume or both. There. Memory for the switches, you can control the effects, delay, rhythm guide, and it'll also control the memory. And control 2, it does all the same. Looper setting. You can record 45 seconds in stereo or record 90 seconds in mono. Now this is where you can control the IQ blink line out position, all the controls, the levels, and you touch the screen and move it up and down to get what you want. Now let's go to the rhythm guide setting. Output select, and you want it coming from the USB, IQ blink line out, USB out and IQ blink line out. You can choose which one of those. Okay, so this is the USB settings. As you can see, it says primary Windows, output 12 Mac, input 12 Mac. So why is it Mac when it says Windows already? That's very confusing, and we won't know until we plug it into the computer. So you can work that out for yourself. Okay, so now owner's manual. You can download, it takes you to the link to download the manual onto your device for the amp. It's good. It's a good manual to have. And version just gives you what the software is all about. Back on the main page, if you look on the top right hand section, there's a musical note. Tap on that, it will bring up the drum machine, or what's called the rhythm guide. They've got tap tempo, rhythm level and reverb level. You can touch those and adjust what you want it to be. Where it says tap tempo, you can tap on that and bring up the speed that you want the metronome or the drums to be. So it's there's the metronome, the jazz drums, rock drums. And then you can adjust which rock beat you want to jam along with. And the bottom right hand corner is a start stop button, so let's start that. And to change the pattern, tap green and rock again, or tap red and rock again, and stop right and bottom right hand corner. And that's how the rhythm guide works. So what do I think of this amp? I have to say I've still got it and I'm proud to have it and I'm very happy with it. I have to say though, love the amp, love the app, but the downside of the app that it won't be supported for ages because they're always upgrading bits and pieces, and I think maybe in 10 years, if you're still using this amp and still making it, they might keep the app updated. But if they replace this with something in the future, then they won't be supporting the app. Maybe, I don't know, you know how things go. So I love this amp and I'm proud to have it. I have to say, when I heard about it and my experience with playing bass through a Cube Street, there was no bottom end, it was all top, and there was no caramba for the bass sound. But this, when I plugged it into the bass, I had to check it out. There's a lot of bottom end on this and it sounds like a brilliant bass amp. So I would recommend you get one of these, 250 quid. The Bluetooth device is about £25 and it's definitely worth it. And the app to download is absolutely free. So enjoy! Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya! Now I'm going to review this. It's the Boss Cube Dual Bass LX.
It's not.